Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going through section 1 of the Bmat 2018. If you like this video, please like, comment and share. Now let's get right into the video. Question 1. Riverside Walk is a popular walking path, 3.2 kilometers long, beside the River B. There is a seat situated at each end of the path and also every 400 meters in between. There are 2 litter bins just next to every seat and 1 litter bin every 100 meters between each seat and the next. How many litter bins are there along Riverside Walk? The correct answer is B. This is because there are seats every 400 meters along a 3.2 kilometers path. We are told that there are 2 bins at every seat and can see that there are a total of 9 seats. As there are 2 bins at each seat, there are 18 bins located at seats. Between each seat, there are bins every 100 meters. This means that there are 3 bins between each pair of seats. As there are 8 gaps between seats, there are 24 bins in total between seats. Total number of bins equals 18 plus 24 equals 42. Therefore, there are 42 bins along Riverside Walk. Question 2. In the UK in the 1990s, there was an outbreak of the brain disease VCJD, which was caused by eating beef from cattle infected with the disease BSE. The type of meat thought to be infected was taken out of the food chain in 1989, and cases of VCJD have been declining since 2000. Susceptibility to VCJD is associated with 2 variants in a gene, M and V. We can inherit 3 possible combinations, MM, MV and VV. Until last year, all 177 people diagnosed with the disease in the UK had the MM combination. Recently, someone who had the MV combination has died of the disease. In the UK, 38% of people have the MM combination and 51% have the MV combination. Which one of the following is a conclusion that can be drawn from the above passage? The correct answer is B, because in the passage, we are told that someone who had the MV variant died of VCJD. This means that they only had one V variant, and hence we are able to conclude that having one V variant of the gene does not guarantee resistance to VCJD. B is the correct answer. Question 3. 5 employees swipe a card every time they enter or leave the office. The times for Thursday are shown in the table below. As part of a performance review, the manager observed the activity in the office between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Which employee was in the office for the largest total amount of time during this 2-hour period? The correct answer is D, because Sana was the employee in the office for the largest total amount of time during this period. She was in for 1 hour and 44 minutes. Question 4. The UK government has recently announced its plan to cut funding to state nurseries. This would be a terrible mistake, as high-quality nursery education is crucial. My child blossomed at a state nursery. We cannot let these places lower their standards, or even close. I was more than happy to move my child to the state nursery from a private nursery when she became eligible. 6 months later, I would say that our experience of her new nursery has been outstanding. For this reason, a professionally run state nursery should sit at the heart of every community, and it should not be affected by financial restrictions. Which one of the following is the best statement of the flaw in the above argument? The answer is C, because the author uses their experience as the main reason behind their argument. 6 months later, I would say that our experience of her new nursery has been outstanding. Therefore, the statement that best assesses the flaw in this argument is C. It generalizes about the importance of state nurseries based on a single experience. Question 5. The table shows the average usage, in minutes per day, of 5 different mobile phone functions, for each of 5 friends. For which of the friends could the following pie chart, suitably labeled, represent the information given in the table? The correct answer is D. This can be deduced by looking at the pie chart. 1. The 2 largest sections in the pie chart are the same size. To find the person whose usage may fit into this, scan down each column. Bryn, Dolly and Eshan match this criteria with 50, 80 and 40 respectively. 2. The 2 smallest sections are the same size as the remaining section. Bryn, the smallest sections are 10 and 30, which do not sum to 30 remaining section. Dolly, the smallest sections are 20 and 20, which do add up to the remaining section, 40. Eshan, the smallest sections are 20 and 20, which do not sum to 20 remaining section. Therefore, Dolly is the only person whose usage can be represented by the pie chart. Question 6. When the development of the internet enabled ordinary people to have free, easy access to information, it seemed as though a great breakthrough had been made in empowering people. The subsequent development of social media made it possible for people to share opinions and quickly organize protests against ruling governments. These two technological developments seemed a healthy way forward for democracy. But now social media, which lacks the checks and editing of traditional information sources, enables people to share deliberately false information, which is then accepted as truth by many. Opinions are being manipulated via social media by people with their own motivations to discredit rivals or groups with different opinions and gain power themselves. Social media has become a vehicle for spreading untruths and has thereby undermined democracy. Which one of the following best expresses the main conclusion of the argument in the above passage? The correct answer is C, because the author primarily discusses the fact that social media has been used to spread untruths and manipulate opinions. They conclude the passage by saying that social media has undermined democracy. Therefore, the strongest conclusion is that democracy has been made weaker by the use of social media. This is therefore the correct answer. Question 7. The lift in the hotel I am staying in takes 3 seconds to move between consecutive floors, and when it stops at a floor it remains stationary for a minimum of 9 seconds to let people in and out. A screen inside the lift shows a list of the floors that it has been requested to stop at. When the lift moves off after stopping at a floor, it always stops next at the closest floor on its list. If 2 floors are equally close in both directions, it continues in the direction in which it was previously traveling. The door of the lift has just closed after I have entered it at floor 11 and added floor 4 to the list of floors to be stopped at. The other floors currently on the list are floors 1, 6, 15 and 24. Assuming that no further floors are added to the list, what is the minimum time that will elapse before the lift door opens at floor 4? The correct answer is D, because if you got in at floor 11 and added floor 4, the floors to stop at would be 1, 4, 6, 15 and 24. The question tells us that the lift always stops at the next closest floor, and if the floors are equally close, it will continue going in the direction it was already going. Floor 11 is 5 floors away from floor 6 and 4 floors away from floor 15, so the lift will move from floor 11 to floor 15. It takes 3 seconds between each floor and 9 seconds to stop at floor 15. Time equals 3 by 4 plus 9 equals 21 seconds once it has stopped at floor 15. The floors pressed are 1, 4, 6 and 24. Floor 15 is 9 floors away from floor 6 and also from floor 24. As the lift was already going up, it would next go to floor 24. It would take 3 seconds per floor, traveling 9 floors and then stopping for 9 seconds at floor 24. Time equals 3 by 9 plus 9 equals 36 seconds once it has stopped at floor 24. It would still have 1, 4 and 6 pressed. As 6 would be closest, the lift would travel from floor 24 to floor 6. It would take 3 seconds traveling across 18 floors, stopping at floor 6 for 9 seconds. Time equals 3 by 18 plus 9 equals 63 seconds once it has stopped at floor 6. The only floors left are 1 and 4. As floor 4 is the closest, the lift will travel from floor 6 to 4. It would take 3 seconds traveling across 2 floors. As it asks the minimum time until the door opens at floor 4, we don't need to add on the time that the lift waits. Time equals 3 times 2 equals 6 seconds. Total time equals 21 plus 36 plus 63 plus 6 equals 126 seconds. Question 8. Total unpaid work in the UK in 2015 had a value of £1,000 billion, equivalent to approximately 55% of gross domestic product, GDP, and women carried out an overall average of 60% more unpaid work than men. The only area where men put in more unpaid work hours than women was in the category of non-leisure travel. While the numbers of men and women are roughly equal, women did more unpaid work than men in every age group, from the 25 and under age category to the 56 and over age category. The figures also revealed that people on lower incomes tended to carry out on average more unpaid work than other income brackets. In which age category did women do the most unpaid work relative to men? The correct answer is B. I was able to deduce this by calculating the ratio of the number of hours done by females to the number of hours done by males. 25 and under, 12.38 divided by 8.07 equals 1.52. 26 to 35 to 34.6 divided by 17.47 equals 1.98. 46 to 55 to 26.49 divided by 18.27 equals 1.45. 56 and over, 25.56 divided by 17.56 equals 1.46. Therefore, the age group in which women did the most unpaid work relative to men was 26 to 35. Question 9. Which of the following can be inferred from the data given? 1. Women spend more than twice as much time doing housework as men. 2. Laundry is the type of unpaid work that men spend the least time on relative to women. 1. Women spend more than twice as much time doing housework as men. 4.66 divided by 2.42 equals 1.93. Therefore, it cannot be inferred that women spend more than twice as much time doing housework as men, as 1.93 is less than 2. 2. Laundry is the type of unpaid work that men spend the least time on relative to women. For this statement, it may not be necessary to do any calculations. From scanning down the table, we can see that the relative values for time spent by women per hour spent by men, time spent by women divided by men, would be around: cooking approximately 2 non-leisure travel, men do more childcare greater than 2 housework approximately 2 laundry approximately 6 volunteering approximately 2 adult care approximately 1.5. It is clear that laundry is the type of unpaid work that men spend the least time on relative to women. Therefore, statement 2 only can be inferred. Question 10. Which one of the following cannot be a plausible explanation why, contrary to the general trend, people on higher incomes tended to spend more time on non-leisure travel? The correct answer is C, because the survey does not focus on driving in particular but instead on non-leisure travel. If someone were to travel to work by bus, then this would still be time spent on non-leisure travel, so this statement does not hold as a reason why people on higher incomes tended to spend more time on non-leisure travel. As this is not a plausible reason, this is the correct answer. Question 11. Assuming that the different types of work are valued equally, what was the total value of unpaid work done by women in the UK in 2015? The correct answer is C, because using the values in the table, total average unpaid hours equals 25.54 plus 15.99 equals 41.53. We then must calculate the proportion completed by women. 25.54, 41.53 equals 0.61497712497. Women's total equals 0.61497712497 x 1000 equals 614.98. Therefore, the total value of unpaid work done by women in the UK in 2015 was £615 billion. Question 12. Any railway customer who has to wait for a train that is delayed by more than 20 minutes is entitled to a refund of $6. Anyone who has to wait for a train that is delayed by more than 10 minutes but less than 20 minutes is entitled to a refund of $4. The table below shows the scheduled arrival time and the actual arrival time for 10 customers' trains. All of the customers who were entitled to a refund did receive the refund from the railway company. How much money did the railway company have to pay out in total to these customers? The correct answer is C, because customers whose train was delayed by more than 10 minutes but less than 20 minutes are entitled to $4, and those whose train was delayed by more than 20 minutes are entitled to $6. Customer 1 to 1 minute late equals $0 refund. Customer 2 to 0 minutes late equals $0 refund. Customer 3 to 24 minutes late equals $6 refund. Customer 4 to 11 minutes late equals $4 refund. Customer 5 to 3 minutes late equals $0 refund. Customer 6 to 8 minutes late equals $0 refund. Customer 7 to 8 minutes late equals $0 refund. Customer 8 to 7 minutes late equals $0 refund. Customer 9 to 21 minutes late equals $6 refund. Customer 10 to 25 minutes late equals $6 refund. Total equals 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6 equals $22. While well-intentioned, the campaign to ban tackling in school rugby constitutes an overreaction. Such a ban could lead to unintended negative consequences for the young people involved in the sport, and it must not be implemented. Many parents and others are very concerned about the potential for rugby tackling to cause head and spinal cord injuries. However, the possibility of injury is present in any sport, and the health risks associated with physical inactivity are widely understood. Also, as is the case with boxing or any other contact sport, full contact rugby enables players to channel aggression in a positive, controlled way. It is surely better to let young people show aggression through rugby than to wait for violent behavior to happen impulsively. Which of the following, if true, would strengthen the above argument? 1. It is unfeasible for schools to replace rugby with other activities that can channel aggression in a controlled manner. 2. Aggression is a natural or unavoidable feature of many young people's behavior. 3. It is impossible to sustain head or spinal cord injuries in other sports played at schools. The correct answer is D because of the following. 1. The author makes the point that young people need a channel for their aggression rather than allowing it to happen impulsively. Therefore, if it were not feasible for schools to replace rugby with any other activity that would allow young people to channel their aggression, this would strengthen the author's argument. 2. As the author is stating that rugby is a positive way for young people to channel their behavior, the fact that aggression is an unavoidable aspect of many young people's behavior would strengthen their point as it emphasizes the need for rugby to remain a sport played in schools as a method of channeling aggression for a large number of students. 3. The fact that it is impossible to sustain head or spinal cord injuries in other sports played at schools would actually weaken this author's point as it suggests that rugby could be replaced by less dangerous sports. Therefore, statements 1 and 2 only, if true, would strengthen the above argument. Question 14. Among a group of 6 children, 2 belong to a football team. Philip says it is Roger and Kyla. Kyla says it is Philip and Roger. Roger says it is Kyla and Sam. Sam says it is Trista and Roger. Trista says it is Ursula and Sam. Ursula refuses to say anything. 4 of the children correctly named one person and lied about the other. One person lied about both. The 6th person, Ursula, said nothing. Which 2 children belong to the football team? The correct answer is F because of the following. If Philip lied about both, Roger and Kyla, then, Kyla must have told the truth about it being Philip, as it can't be Roger. Roger must have told the truth about it being Sam, as it can't be Kyla. Sam must have told the truth about it being Trista, as it can't be Roger. This cannot be the case as with this combination. There are 3 different children who would belong to the football team, but we can only have 2. If Kyla lied about both, Philip and Roger, Philip must have told the truth about it being Kyla, as it can't be Roger. Roger must have told the truth about it being Kyla, as we already know that she would be one of the children in this combination. Sam must have told the truth about Trista, as it can't be Roger. Trista must have told the truth about it being Ursula, as we know that it can't be Sam from Roger's statement. This cannot be the case as with this combination. There are 3 different children who would belong to the football team, but we can only have 2. If Roger lied about both, Kyla and Sam, Philip must have told the truth about it being Roger, as it can't be Kyla. Sam must have also told the truth about it being Roger. Kyla must have also told the truth about it being Roger. Trista must have told the truth about it being Ursula, as it can't be Sam. As we are left with only 2 children being in the team, this must be the correct answer. So, Roger and Ursula are the children who belong to the football team. For completeness, if Trista lied about both Ursula and Sam, Roger must have told the truth about it being Kyla, as it can't be Sam. Philip must have also told the truth about it being Kyla. As we know from Philip's statement that it cannot be Roger, Kyla must have told the truth about Philip. As we know from Kyla's statement that it cannot be Roger, Trista must have told the truth about Trista. This cannot be the case as with this combination. There are 3 different children who would belong to the football team, but we can only have 2. Question 15. The BBC's codes and guidelines have maintained its reputation for broadcasting news that is representative of different political opinions. These include the political right's promotion of the freedom and prosperity of business, in contrast to the left's view that businesses should be regulated to serve everybody's interests. There are no similar requirements for newspapers. The range of views on offer in the press derives largely from the extent of the pluralism of ownership and, in turn, the degree to which owners seek to influence editorial direction. Newspaper ownership in Britain is concentrated in the hands of a few businessmen. Newspapers are rarely profitable, but provide power, influence and easy access to the establishment, which their owners can exploit to secure economic conditions favorable to their businesses. Owners can directly dictate the newspaper's position on a particular issue, and staff can be appointed for, or censored by, the political ethos of the organization. Which of the following can be concluded from the above passage? 1. The right promotes the interests of newspaper owners in Britain. 2. The political opinion presented in the British press is biased in favour of the right. The correct answer is A. This is because of the following. 1. The right promotes the interests of newspaper owners in Britain. The passage states that the political right's promotion of the freedom and prosperity of business, newspaper ownership in Britain is concentrated in the hands of a few businessmen. Owners can exploit this power to secure economic conditions favorable to their businesses, as we are told that the right supports freedom and prosperity of business and that newspapers are owned by businessmen and used to create the economic conditions favorable to their businesses. It can be concluded from the passage that the right promotes the interests of newspaper owners in Britain. 2. The political opinion presented in the British press is biased in favour of the right. We are told in the passage that the BBC provides a range of views from the political left and right, but that newspapers in Britain are owned by businessmen and hence biased in favour of the right. As the statement refers to the British press in general, we cannot conclude this to be true based on the information in the passage, as we are not given an overall view as to whether the British press are biased toward the right or not. And small containers must be filled with paint. 2 pumps are available. The fast pump can deliver paint at 12 liters per minute, and the slow pump can deliver paint at 6 liters per minute. Kadu begins to use one of the pumps to fill a large container and the other pump to fill a small container. He starts filling the containers at the same time, and, when the small container is half full, he swaps each container to the other pump. Both containers become full at the same time. How much bigger is a large container than a small container? A is the correct answer because we are told that there is a small and a large container. For the purposes of calculation, it will help to give the small container a volume. In this instance, the volume of the small container has been given the value of 12 liters. If the small container starts on the 6 liters per minute pump, it will take 1 minute for the small container to be filled halfway. At the same time, the larger container would be on the large pump, so would have received 12 liters. When the containers were swapped, it would take 30 seconds on the 12 liters per minute pump for the small container to be filled, as 6 liters were needed to fill the container. If the large container was on the 6 liters per minute pump for 30 seconds, a further 3 liters would be added to the existing 12 liters in the container. Therefore, by the end, the small container would contain 12 liters and the large container would contain 15 liters. As we are asked to work out how much bigger the large container is than the small container, we must subtract 12 from 15, then work it out as a percentage change. 15 minus 12 equals 3/3/12 equals 0.25, so the large container is 25% larger than the smaller container. Question 17. It is not unusual for a member of the British royal family to serve as an officer in the armed forces, and even, on occasion, to see active service. It happened quite recently when Prince Harry was posted to a war zone, raising questions about the heightened risk that such a high-profile target would face and possibly deflect onto others. At first the prince's location was a well-kept secret, but in due course it became public knowledge, rightly prompting calls in Parliament and the media for his recall. If the prince's whereabouts had remained a secret, the level of risk could have been managed. But since his whereabouts were not a secret, risk management was not possible. Which one of the following commits the same logical flaw as the above argument? The correct answer is A, because the same logical flaw is made in statement A. If the tide is out, the island can be reached. But the tide isn't out, so the island can't be reached. In the same way that the author does not consider that there may be other methods of managing the risk if his location was known, this statement assumes that there is no other way to reach the island if the tide is out. Question 17. It is not unusual for a member of the British royal family to serve as an officer in the armed forces, and even, on occasion, to see active service. It happened quite recently when Prince Harry was posted to a war zone, raising questions about the heightened risk that such a high-profile target would face and possibly deflect onto others. At first the prince's location was a well-kept secret, but in due course it became public knowledge, rightly prompting calls in Parliament and the media for his recall. If the prince's whereabouts had remained a secret, the level of risk could have been managed. But since his whereabouts were not a secret, risk management was not possible. Which one of the following commits the same logical flaw as the above argument? Question 18. 3-year-old Arthur has a junior Skittles set. It contains 4 red Skittles, 4 yellow Skittles, 3 balls and a felt mat. The mat is shown below. 6 of the 8 Skittles are placed on the spots. There are 2 extra in the set in case of loss or damage. The balls must then be bowled from behind the line at the other end of the mat. How many different arrangements of red and yellow Skittles are possible on the 6 circles on the mat? The correct answer is E because of the following. 4 red and 2 yellow Skittles. In order to understand how permutations work, think about placing the Skittles on the spaces. For the first one, you have 6 options, for the next you have 5 and so on. The number would be given by 6 times 5 times 4 by 3 times 2 times 1. However, we must take the colors of the Skittles into account, 4 red and 2 yellow, as we are actually limited by color. So, the permutation formula would be 6 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1 divided by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1 by 2 by 1 equals 15 3 red and 3 yellow Skittles. When we consider placing the Skittles, we still have 6 permutations. However, this time we have 3 red and 3 yellow Skittles, so must take this into account too. 6 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1 divided by 3 by 2 by 1 by 3 by 2 by 1 equals 24 yellow and 2 red Skittles. When we consider placing the Skittles, we still have 6 permutations. However, this time we have 4 yellow and 2 red Skittles, so must take this into account too. 6 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1 divided by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1 by 2 by 1 equals 15. To find the total number of permutations, we must add these values together. 15 plus 15 plus 20 equals 50. Question 19. In which phase of flight are most fatalities caused per crash? The correct answer is A because of the following. In order to work out which phase of flight incurred the most fatalities per crash, we must divide the percent of onboard casualties by the percent of fatal crashes per phase. It is possible to scan through and eliminate some of these before calculating, but we have shown the full working below. Taxi. 0/12 equals 0 takeoff, 16/12 equals 1.33 initial climb, 14/8 equals 1.75 climb, 13/10 equals 1.3 cruise, 16/8 equals 2 descent equals 4/4 equals 1 initial approach, 12/10 equals 1.2 final approach, 13/11 equals 1.182 landing equals 12/25 equals 0.48. Therefore, the phase of flight with the most fatalities per crash is cruise. Question 20. What is the average time taken by an aircraft to get from the start of its descent, at cruising altitude, to landing on the runway? The correct answer is C because in the bottom row of Table 2, we are given the percentage times for each stage of a 1.5 hours flight. Descent equals 11%, initial approach equals 12%, final approach equals 3%, landing equals 1%, total percentage of flight equals 11 plus 12 plus 3 plus 1 equals 27. As these values are based on a 1.5-hour flight, we multiply 90 minutes by 0.27, time equals 0.27 x 90 equals 24.3. Therefore, the time from the start of descent to landing on the runway is 24 minutes. Question 21. Which one of the following represents the clearest exception to this observation? The correct answer is D because if you look at the number of crashes due to sabotage compared to the total number of crashes, generally sabotage is responsible for around 10% of crashes. However, in the 1960s, it was less than 5%. Therefore, this is a clear exception to the rule and is hence the correct answer. Question 22. Which one of the following is assumed by the reasoning in the final paragraph? The correct answer is C because this argument removes sabotage when considering how safe air travel is. Therefore, it relies on the assumption that sabotage does not make air travel less safe. Question 23. I use a 4-digit PIN with my bank cards. Each digit can be any digit between 1 and 9. I have set the code so that the first and second digits are consecutive, subtracting the first from the second digit gives 1. The third and fourth digits are consecutive, subtracting the third from the fourth digit gives 1. The first and fourth digits add together to give the same value as the second and third digits multiplied together. What is the last, fourth digit of my PIN? The correct answer is B because of the following. There are a number of methods of going about this type of problem. As the first two rules don't narrow the code down very far, it may be easier to first try different combinations for the third rule. The first and fourth digits add together to give the same value as the second and third digits multiplied together. As the last number must be 1 greater than the third number, it must be at least 2. If the first number was 1 and the last was 2, the sum would be 3. Given the first two rules, the code would be 1212, so the second and third numbers multiplied together would make 2. So, this wouldn't adhere to the rules. If the first number was 1 and the last was 3, the sum would be 4. Given the first two rules, the code would be 1223 and 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, so this is a possible code. Therefore, 3 would be the final digit of the code. Question 24. Domestic cats are popular pets worldwide, and have the potential to significantly affect prey species in both rural and urban areas. Several studies have shown that cats living on the outskirts of urban areas and those living in rural areas bring home more prey, and a greater variety of prey, than cats living in more urbanized environments. However, not all studies have found detrimental effects of cat predation on wildlife. A study in Canberra, Australia, found that domestic cats caught and killed so-called invasive species of rodents and birds, those that are non-native to the ecosystem and whose presence causes or is likely to cause harm. Thus, keeping domestic cats should be encouraged as it has a positive effect on native wildlife. Which one of the following best expresses the flaw in the above argument? The correct answer is C, because the author is assuming that the Canberra study could be applied as a general principle that domestic cats have a positive effect on native wildlife, when this may not be the case. So, the greatest flaw in this argument is C. It assumes that the Canberra study was representative of the general environmental effects of keeping domestic cats. Question 25. Simone has won $200 in a competition and she decides to share the money between 5 different charities that she supports. No charity will receive more than $100 and each charity will receive a whole number of dollars. Each one of the charities will receive a different amount and at least $10. Simone will give the second highest amount of money to a local charity, Stars. What is the least amount that Simone might give to Stars? The correct answer is D, because of the following. As Simone is able to give up to $100 to one charity, this charity could receive $100 as the largest donation. This means that there is $100 which must be split between the 4 other charities, including Stars, with each charity receiving a different amount. The average amount per charity would be $25 each, but Stars must receive the most. So, the minimum that Stars could receive from Simone would be $27, $2 more than AVG, with the other charities receiving $23, $2 less than AVG, $26, $1 more than AVG, and $24, $1 less than AVG, or combinations thereof totaling $73. You may think that the least she could have given was $26, but this would mean that 2 of the charities would have been given the same amount, $25, which we are told does not happen. Question 26. It is known that one of the factors that can promote better health in infants is the good health of the mother. What is less well known is that there are real dangers presented by bottle feeding, a practice that has become very popular in developing countries. Firstly, formula milk lacks the protective properties, antibodies, enzymes, long-chain fatty acids and hormones of breast milk. Secondly, there is the danger of contamination in situations where hygiene is poorly understood or difficult to achieve. Thirdly, formula milk may be over-diluted as a way of saving on cost. Companies selling formula milk have led aggressive advertising campaigns to promote bottle feeding. As a result, many governments in the developing world have introduced limits on or banned such marketing. More action is urgently needed throughout the developing world if we are to help women and avoid infant ill health and mortality. One estimate put the number of infant deaths in the developing world caused by bottle feeding at 13% of all deaths. Which one of the following, if true, most strengthens the above argument? The correct answer is D, because breastfeeding has benefits for both the mother and the child would strengthen this argument, as the author has only mentioned the benefits for the infant so far. Furthermore, the fact that breastfeeding provides benefits to the mother and infant would strengthen the author's argument against bottle feeding, so is the correct answer. Question 27. The prices of pizzas at Paul's are shown in the following table. Paul decided to have a promotion with 2 special discounts available on the total cost of pizzas, including any toppings. Buy 1 pizza, get any other one for half price. Buy any 4 pizzas, get another one free. Paul had intended that the discount would apply to the cheapest pizza in each case, but forgot to include this wording on the promotional material. He therefore had to allow customers to decide which pizzas would have the discount applied. 7 friends ordered the following pizzas. What was the least possible cost of their pizza order? The correct answer is a because of the following. The first step is to calculate the cost of each pizza. India is vegetarian equals $5. James is ham plus 1 topping equals $8. Kira is ham equals $6. Lance is ham plus 1 topping equals $8. Maddie is Paul's special plus 2 toppings equals $12. Nelly is vegetarian plus 2 toppings equals $9. Ollie is Paul's special plus 1 topping equals $10. There are two possible combinations of deals given that 7 pizzas have been ordered. Buy one get one half price on the full order, or buy 4 get 1 free and a buy 1 get 1 half price offer. Buy one get 1 half price to get the cheapest deal. They would choose the 3 most expensive pizzas to be half price. These would be Maddie's, Nellie's and Ollie's pizzas. Total price equals 5 plus 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4.5 plus 5 equals $42.50. Buy 4 get 1 free, then buy 1 get 1 half price for this deal. The group could choose the most expensive pizza, Maddie's, to be free and the second most expensive to be half price, Ollie's. Total price equals 5 plus 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9 plus 5 equals $41. Therefore, the least possible cost of their pizza order is $41. Question 28. A study of routine health screening programs found no consistent evidence that they improved health or reduced death rates and concluded that, while we cannot be certain that general health checks lead to benefit, we know that all medical interventions can lead to harm. Possible harms include overtreatment due to false positive results. In routine screening for breast cancer, for example, tumors may be detected leading to major surgery when those tumors may never, if left alone, have developed into anything harmful. Furthermore, people who are better off or healthier are more likely to participate in routine screening, so the screening may not reach those who need it most. This is not to imply that the individual components of health checks are ineffective or to discount the value of targeted screening programs in geographical areas where levels of disease are more prevalent. Which one of the following can be drawn as a conclusion from the above passage? The correct answer is D. This is because the author's point is that routine health screening is not always beneficial and that they may not be reaching the people they need to. So, more targeted screening would be beneficial. Therefore, D is the correct option. Question 29. Most board games that require 2 dice are supplied with 2 identical dice, both having 1 to 6 spots on their faces, with the spots on opposite faces adding up to 7. The 2 dice supplied with one of my board games are different. One has 0 to 5 spots on its faces, with the spots on opposite faces adding up to 5, while the other one has 2 to 7 spots on its faces, with the spots on opposite faces adding up to 9. This is a view of both dice together. Which one of the following could be another view of one of the dice? The correct answer is C, because the opposite side must add up to 5. If you work through the arrangement of the second dice in the stem, 1 would be opposite 4, and 3 would be opposite 2, with 1, 3 and 5 being visible at the same time, which works for this answer. So, this is the correct answer. Question 30. Biofuels are an energy source derived mainly from plants and widely thought to offer a better alternative to petroleum and other fossil fuels. In particular, when biofuels are burned to generate electricity or power a car, they produce lower emissions of carbon dioxide, the gas largely responsible for human-caused climate change. Concerns do exist about other consequences of switching to biofuels. For instance, using biofuels to meet the energy needs of even a few industrialized nations would likely require converting large amounts of forest and land now utilized for growing food to the production of crops only suitable for manufacturing biofuels. Such land use change could harm biodiversity and also reduce food availability for some of the world's poorest people. Yet the planet-wide threat posed by climate change is so significant that a transition from fossil fuels to biofuels must be pursued. Which of the following, if true, would weaken the main conclusion of the above argument? 1. Longer growing seasons and other likely impacts of climate change will lead to increased food harvests in some areas. 2. Technology exists to manufacture biofuels cheaply and efficiently from waste products associated with existing food production arrangements. The correct answer is D, because of the following. Statement 1. Longer growing seasons and other likely impacts of climate change will lead to increased food harvests in some areas. This statement neither strengthens nor weakens the above argument, as the author writes about the planet-wide threat posed by climate change. Therefore, this fact would not weaken her argument that we must make efforts to halt climate change. Statement 2. Technology exists to manufacture biofuels cheaply and efficiently from waste products associated with existing food production arrangements. If true, this statement would strengthen rather than weaken the author's argument, as it would solve the major drawback of moving to biofuels. Therefore, this statement would not weaken the above argument. Neither statement would weaken the argument. Question 31. Bruno was awarded 48 marks out of 80 for his coursework project. The maximum mark available for each of the 4 sections, research, design, construction and evaluation, was 20. The marks for all sections were expressed in whole numbers. The smallest difference between the marks awarded to any 2 of Bruno's sections was 2. This was between design and construction, which were his 2 best sections. The largest difference was 11, between design and evaluation. How many marks was Bruno's research section awarded? The correct answer is a because of the following. We know that design was his best section, followed by construction, and that evaluation was his worst, so it must be design, construction, research, evaluation. The difference between design and evaluation was 11, so D minus E equals 11. We are told that there were 2 marks between design and construction, so DC equals 2. From this information, we can play around with the numbers to see if we satisfy all of the criteria in the question. If design was awarded 20 marks, design equals 20, construction equals 18, evaluation equals 9. For the total to be 48, research would need to be awarded 1 mark, but we know that research greater than evaluation, as the greatest difference was between design, which we know is his best subject, and evaluation. If design was awarded 18 marks, design equals 18, construction equals 16, evaluation equals 7. For the total to be 48, research would need to be awarded 7 marks, but we know that research greater than evaluation. If design was awarded 17 marks, design equals 17, construction equals 15, evaluation equals 6. For the total to be 48, research would need to be awarded 10 marks. This satisfies all of the rules, including D greater than C greater than R greater than E. Therefore, 10 is the correct answer. Question 32. Based on the information provided, which of the following can be inferred as being conditionally indispensable amino acids? The correct answer is D, because of the following. In the first paragraph, we are told, conditionally indispensable amino acids can be made by our body under many circumstances, but, under other circumstances, cannot be made in a sufficiently reliable way to meet our needs. The passage then goes on to say, our bodies can take some amino acids and convert them into others, for example phenylalanine into tyrosine and methionine into cysteine. However, these conversions rely on the presence of other molecules, and the ability of our bodies to create and transform amino acids can, as with the examples cited, change at different stages of life and in different states of health. Therefore, tyrosine and cysteine are amino acids that can be made by the body under certain circumstances, but in other circumstances they cannot be made sufficiently to meet our needs, different stages of life and states of health, so we can infer that they are conditionally indispensable amino acids. We cannot conclude that phenylalanine and methionine have the same status, as we are told that the body takes these amino acids to produce tyrosine and cysteine. Question 33. How much more tryptophan would be recommended for a 20-year-old man weighing 70 kilograms by the proposed daily desired intake from Table 2 compared to Table 1? The correct answer is B, because of the following. Table 1 in the STEM, we are told that this proposal recommends 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram as daily intake. For this man weighing 70 kilograms, this would be, daily protein intake equals 0. 8 times 70 equals 56 grams. Table 1 gives the value of amino acid in mg per 1 gram of protein in a hen's egg. 4 milligrams of tri per 1 gram of protein with 56 grams of protein recommended per day. Recommended daily intake of tri equals 4 times 56 equals 224 milligrams. Table 2 recommends 5 milligrams per kilogram per day of tri for anyone 19 plus years. As this male is 70 kilograms, daily recommended intake of tri equals 5 times 70 equals 350 milligrams. To answer the question, we must then calculate how much more tryptophan is recommended by Table 2 than by Table 1. 350 minus 224 equals 126 milligrams. Question 34. The average newborn baby consumes 560 grams of breast milk a day, while the average 8-week-old baby consumes 700 grams a day. What is the ratio of the average consumption of isoleucine per day between the average newborn and the average 8-week-old? The correct answer is A. This is because of the following. In the stem, we are told that the protein content of human breast milk falls from 2.5% immediately after giving birth to 1% 8 weeks after birth. Newborn, protein content of breast milk is 2.5% of 560 grams of milk consumed. Protein content equals 0.025 times 560 equals 14 grams according to Table 1. There are 55 milligrams of isoleucine, ISO, per 1 gram of protein in breast milk. To find out how much isoleucine is in 14 grams, newborn daily isoleucine intake equals 14 times 55 equals 770 milligrams 8-week-old. Protein content of milk is 1% of 700 grams consumed. Protein content equals 0.01 times 700 equals 7 grams according to Table 1. There are 55 milligrams of isoleucine, ISO, per 1 gram of protein in breast milk. To find out how much isoleucine is in 7 grams, 8-week-old daily isoleucine intake equals 7 times 55 equals 385 milligrams. To calculate the ratio of daily isoleucine content, 8-week-old, newborn, 770 divided by 385 equals 2. Therefore, the ratio is 2 to 1. Question 35. The requirement for histidine, based on a hen's egg, has not been quantified beyond infancy, but an estimate has been extrapolated from the ratio of threonine requirements between infants and adults. Which one of the following would be this estimate? The correct answer is B because of the following. First, look for the ratio of threonine requirements between infants and adults from Table 1, ratio between human milk and hen's egg content, 44 to 19 as histidine follows the same ratio. The adult requirement would be 21 times 19 divided by 44 equals 9.07. Therefore, the estimate would be 9 milligrams per day.